A lot of vaccine data coming in from you. So bring us up to date. I saw some stuff even coming out today and yesterday. What has your attention right now?
And I want to go over two massive studies that kind of just throw the whole safe and effective narrative out of the water. The first one's by Fuxova and colleagues. This had 99 million people in it. They found 500% increased risks of myocarditis.
Damn, a 500% risk increase sounds like a lot. By the way, that 500% is coming from this number right here. This is called the observed versus expected ratio. And in this case, the observed versus expected ratio is 6.1. And what this means is that they observed 6.1 times as many cases of myocarditis than what they expected, based on data taken before the pandemic. But what is this increase from? What was the expected number? Well, by looking through their methods, I found that they used this table and plugged all those numbers into this equation. And what they found was the expected rate was 0.47 cases of myocarditis out of every 100,000 people. So less than one case out of every 100,000 is what they expected. So we can take that 0.47 and multiply it by 6.1, and what we get is around 3 cases of myocarditis out of 100,000 people. That's what they observed. That's not a whole lot. 500% sounds a lot scarier than 3 cases out of 100,000. Okay, so what is it about the mRNA vaccine that causes this increase in myocarditis?
mRNA technology is actually genetic code contained within what's called a lipid nanoparticle. It actually goes into every single organ system and instructs those cells to make the toxic full-length spike protein. And this is why we see myocarditis.
Okay, so the spike protein is what causes myocarditis. But isn't the spike protein found all over the coronavirus? I mean, I'm pretty sure if you look at this little guy right here, there's spike proteins all over that. So is myocarditis associated with COVID infection? Oh shit, would you looky there? The same paper that he's referencing actually tells us that infection by coronavirus has a much higher risk of developing myocarditis than getting the vaccine. So now I'm wondering, what is the percent risk increase in developing myocarditis from the coronavirus itself? This paper right here found that the observed versus expected ratio associated with COVID infection is 18 to 19. So that means that COVID infection has a 17 to 1800% risk increase of developing myocarditis. So with the mRNA vaccine, you have a 500% risk increase. But with the infection itself, you have a 17 to 1800% risk increase. So one thing I want you to realize is, now that COVID is here, you will be infected. So your options are either a 500% risk increase taken with the mRNA vaccine, or take your chances, get infected, because you will, and you will have a 17 to 1800% risk increase of myocarditis. So at the end of the day, the research has shown that it's much safer to take the vaccine than it is to take your chances with the infection. So why is this guy, who's being held up as an expert, only telling us part of the story? He looked at the same papers I looked at, and he chose to tell you the risk associated with the vaccine, but not the risk associated with the virus. Why would he do that?